See, and ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. So it's very, I don't know. For me, it was really emotional to have the pronouns be female, because I felt like there was something there, and I didn't know what it was. And I remember when I first talked about this game with some guys, I was like, I feel like Kodo might be a female, and like maybe that's a good interpretation or a legitimate interpretation. And I remember being shut down. And maybe that's part of why I love this game so much, is because there's so many people who are so intent
it's the machine
on everyone seeing things their way. All right, then. I will speak to them for you. My followers. I've had a troubling revelation. Machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy everything the machine has created.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it.
Oh, you could be the one.
Actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
You can just feel the
So I started showing
total
work.
control that Davey has at this
one,
point, and it feels
and
awful.
the island which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
A little light post next to the machine.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like Like, I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could
Oh my
fix
God.
it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem.
Right.
They
Okay.
told me how much they enjoyed his games. It was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made.
Okay.
So let's take a look.
Here we go. This is the final reveal. I'm sure you've already kind of guessed how much control Davy has. It's interesting. You know, when I first played this game, it really upset me. And I know other people played it and it upset them too, and they couldn't articulate why. And I think I get it now. It's when you have a friend or a colleague who thinks that they know you and thinks that they know what's best for you and think that they know how to shape you.
Anything meaningful about Coda's work, because more than
And
anything else,
they're
the tower just feels distant.
just trying
feels
to
like
make
it's trying
reflections
to
of
distance itself
themselves.
from the world.
That's why this is upsetting.
It's a very cold game.
And we don't know how much of this is Coda. We don't know how much of this is an expression. We don't know how much of this is Davy. But what we do know is that Davy has violated Coda's creative experience and might have been responsible for...
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
We don't know how much of this is Coda. We don't know how much of this is Davy. We're only given Davy's account. And Davy thinks he's a good guy. He thinks he's helping his friend. But what we do know is that this is a violation.
This is the first game that's needed some modification.
And that's why this is so upsetting.
Game.
It's not about game journalism. It's not about loving something and having an interpretation of it. It's about violating someone.
That game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
It's about trying to put your own thoughts over someone else, which I know is what I'm doing right now to this game. But that's what I get out of it, and that's why it upsets me. It feels like it's just a violation, man. That's all it is.
Everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
This is so interesting, because, so my interpretation of this game, the way that it makes me feel, is that Davy has violated Coda's trust and creative process and professionalism, everything. But Davy still puts in so much work and time into Coda, despite everything, because, maybe to him, Coda's just a reflection of his own talent or something, The fact that he went through all of this work to try to find this puzzle by basically doing this number by number, that takes some dedication. Oh, God. Goodness. Yeah. I don't know why I keep playing this game every year. I think it's just a good reminder that you have to, like, you can't let people do this to you, ever, you know? You can't let people decide what your fate is.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can, buddy.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
Ugh.
I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
See? And this is so typical. Someone who doesn't get every piece of you, instead of just accepting that he can't have every part, you know?
I just felt so strongly
just takes
that if I
it
could have
anyway.
connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to
the
ask you to
reason
not
that you
speak to
stopped
me
making
anymore.
games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I am making these games for you. Man. You've so infected my personal space
And
that it's possible
the
I
people who
did begin
played
to
them,
plant solutions in my
they
work
treated me
somewhere,
like
hidden
I
between
was
games.
important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say.
If there is an
Even though I was
answer,
showing
a
your
meaning,
work,
would
was-
it make you any
I
happier?
felt good about
Would it
myself.
stop? Would you
Finally,
stop taking my
for a
games and
moment,
showing them to
while
other
I
people
had that
against my wishes?
I liked myself.
Giving them something that's not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Wow. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding light posts to them? Yeah. So this is the big reveal, that all the lampposts are actually from Davey. Which, I remember just the first time, such a fucking gut punch.
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean? I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe
So
enough
now we're
people will play it
complicit,
so that it'll find its
basically.
way
If
to
this
you,
was a real
so that I
person,
can
we would
tell
be
you that
complicit.
I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was.
Oh, wow.
I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Wow, this game is such a gut punch. Even when you know what's about to happen, it doesn't matter. It just fucking hits you as hard as it can.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
I don't feel sorry for Davey. He's awful. But man, this does hit pretty hard. Man, I've had nightmares about this. This specific scene, I've had nightmares. There's something about it that just
depended on finding something to be driven by,
crawls into your brain and lives there forever.
What would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Shit has been in my dreams.
What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
It's so crazy that you can play this game without any narration. Can you imagine? I can't really imagine this game without it. And it's not like it would encapsulate this fictional person's game, because it's all been violated anyway. I don't know. I know I promised you guys a good time, but instead we had a thoughtful time. And that's what 2021's all about. Stop chasing the good times. Start living in the deep dark. It's cathartic, though. I think the reason why I probably play this game every year is just because it reminds you to not let people do this to you. Even if they say they love you. Even if they give you a lot of praise, don't ever let someone do something like this to you. And if you find yourself relating more with Davy, stop doing that thing. You know? This is a good vibe check. Are you this year feeling like Davy? Maybe stop. Are you this year feeling like Coda? Get the fuck out and don't apologize. That's what it's all about. Because this is the extreme, right? In the less extreme world, we all have a little bit of both in us. And you can't let one of them override the other. And you can't let one of them turn into a monster. So, if you're in a situation where someone is taking your games and putting like posts in them, fuck that guy.